Hey everyone, before we dive into this story, if you're enjoying these real-life tales of karma and clever comebacks, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. It was just past 6 in the morning when I stepped into our bedroom. My wife, Sarah, was frantically cramming clothes into a suitcase, moving like she was racing against time. I lifted an eyebrow and asked lightly, "Are we headed somewhere?" She gave me a cold little smile, one I'd never seen from her before, and answered, "Not you. I'm heading to the Maldives with my old boyfriend. Just as friends." Those words landed like a punch. I stood there for a second, searching her face to see if this was some twisted joke. It wasn't. That smirk said it all. She was walking out, leaving me behind, while openly planning a getaway with the guy she used to be deeply involved with. Anger and shock surged through me, but I kept it locked down. I didn't say a word. Instead, I picked up my phone, found the number for his wife, Emily, and typed a short message. "I know where your husband is headed." My hands didn't shake. My mind was clear. Her reply came almost instantly. "Wonderful." That single word held everything: gratitude, resolve, shared understanding. I didn't need to say more. By the time Sarah zipped up her last bag, everything was already in motion. She thought she was stepping into freedom, fun, and secrecy. She had no clue that her secret would be out before breakfast. I didn't stop her. I didn't argue. I simply let her leave, knowing that the moment she walked out the door, the fallout would start. Patience and perfect timing were on my side, and she had no idea what she'd just set off by thinking I'd just sit there helpless. By the time she got to the airport, she was sending me cocky, playful texts. I left everyone on read. The notifications kept coming, but I didn't reply. Then, hours later, my phone exploded. Calls, messages, everything from her, sounding desperate and terrified. Why is this happening? I just needed a little break. It was only a vacation. Don't overreact. I stayed quiet and calm. Those messages weren't really about me. They were about the consequences she never saw coming. By contacting Emily first, I'd made sure the truth traveled faster than any vacation selfie Sarah could post. The trap was set. That Maldives getaway wasn't going to be the carefree escape she imagined. It was about to become a nightmare she couldn't outrun. I'd waited for her to make her choice, and now her panic proved I'd read everything right. She thought she was untouchable. She was dead wrong. By lunchtime, her texts turned hysterical. She called over and over, getting cut off mid-sentence as the reality sank in that Emily knew everything. She begged, yelled, tried to twist the story, but it was too late. I stayed silent, watching from afar as she fell apart. She'd figured she could keep both her old flame and me on the line, but she completely misjudged how patient and calculated I could be. Her happy, carefree social media posts didn't matter anymore. The truth had already spread through her circle faster than she could control. I didn't chase her. I didn't raise my voice. Silence and smart timing did all the heavy lifting. By the time she realized how badly she'd messed up, she had no power left. When Emily finally confronted her, Sarah was completely exposed and alone. I'd made sure her betrayal faced real consequences without me ever needing a big, loud showdown. Her phone kept lighting up, but I never answered. Every new message was another confession, another wave of panic. "Please, let's talk. It wasn't a big deal. Don't drag anyone else into this." Her begging didn't change anything. Alerting Emily first meant Sarah couldn't spin the story or sweet-talk her way out. Her whole lie crumbled before she even boarded the plane. I stayed quiet, letting the fear, regret, and humiliation build into something she'd never forget. Emily had every right to step in, and she did. Texts flew, calls happened, and Sarah's world flipped upside down in just hours. The freedom she'd counted on turned into a trap of shame and regret. And I stayed cool, quiet, watching her finally feel what real consequences are like. By evening, her phone wouldn't stop ringing. Calls from her ex, from friends, even from numbers she didn't recognize. Every message she sent was pure desperation. Rushed excuses, tearful apologies. I didn't jump in. She'd backed herself into this corner all on her own. I'd moved quickly, smartly, and quietly. No yelling, no public scene. just perfect timing. She'd thought she could parade her secret getaway without paying a price, but she ignored what happens when you break trust and underestimate someone's resolve. By the time her Maldives trip actually began, her real life was already in pieces. The lesson hit harder than anything I could have done myself. It wasn't revenge, it was pure, clean justice. By night, her panic shifted to pure pleading. She texted and called non-stop, trying to patch things up. I didn't respond. I just watched her come undone from a distance. She'd expected me to lose it, beg, scream, chase her. None of that happened. I handled it calmly and thoughtfully. Emily had confronted her, and Sarah had no escape route left. Every excuse she tried fell apart. By the time she grasped how exposed she really was, it was far too late. The exciting little holiday she'd planned turned into total chaos. Panic replaced her confidence. Embarrassment replaced that smug smile. And I stayed steady, calm, unshaken, completely unbothered. That day taught me something important. Patience and strategy beat raw anger every time. Silence, timing, and one precise move delivered a win far sweeter than any argument ever could. By the next morning, her messages had slowed way down. She finally understood she'd miscalculated badly. I'd stayed quiet, executed my plan, and let her own decisions ruin her perfect escape. The Maldives trip she dreamed of as an adventure became a nightmare filled with confrontations, exposure, and deep regret. No shouting, no drama, just quiet control of the situation. She realized she'd underestimated me, and that realization stuck. I never humiliated her publicly, never insulted her, never chased her down. Instead, I created consequences she couldn't dodge. By the time she tried to go back to normal life, the damage was permanent. My silence, planning, and timing guaranteed she'd regret crossing that line for years. That day shattered her illusions, restored my self-respect, and proved that thoughtful, calculated action always beats reckless betrayal.